asking the question. Cowboys win because Cowboys lose because. I know this always breaks your heart, Corey, but I do need you to make sure you have an answer about how they could lose that game.
I don't think it's going to happen, dude.
Okay, but still.
I mean, it's Indianapolis, bro.
Hey, that's the thing. It's a trap game. You cannot sit here and just think you're going to walk all over a team like that.
Now, this is an example from the 817. Cowboys lose because 11 of the 22 starters are out sick. That is what I think it would take for the Colts to win. So that is the energy that some people are bringing to the table. From the 972, Cowboys win because all you have to do is breathe on Matt Ryan and he goes down.
Listen, and our defensive linemen don't just breathe on guys.
Right? Oh,
right?
my God.
Whoa.
Like, they hit. They hit hard, and they are going to be in attack mode. This is one of those games, Derek, and I think if I can compare it to baseball like Mike would, where you're like, that pitcher over there, miserable. We're about to hit 16 bombs today. That offensive line can't block that great for Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan can't move. When you know he can't move, you know you don't have to worry about where the pocket is going to go. And so you're, as a defensive lineman, you're like, meet there. And so you know you can pin your ears back and go. Now, if they do make some passes downfield, that could be a problem where they have to say, okay, we got to do this first. And Jonathan Taylor's a good running back. They have to stop the run first. But once they do that, once they start that process, third down, bam, it's time to go. And that's where this defense is going to be this weekend.
I mean, I feel like they're going to shut down the run. They've been trying to hold themselves accountable. Micah said that on there too. You've heard him talk about we got to hold ourselves more accountable.
They are going to destroy the Colts if they shut down the run.
That's where I'm saying. If
them.
you stop that changes everything. Your pass coverage is too good. There's no, and I mean, like you said before, you're going against Matt Ryan. He is not in a good place.
He can't throw the ball down the field. No. That is actually my Cowboys win because Matt Ryan doesn't really throw the ball down the field much anymore, and the Colts. Let's try that again. Matt Ryan doesn't really throw the ball down the field much anymore, and the Colts offensive line looks shaky. So the Cowboys will harass the aging quarterback all day long. Like, I think they are going to be knocking him to the ground again and again and again.
They're going to put way too much pressure on him. He's not going to have time to think. They're going to be in there so quick. It's unbelievable.
And that's problematic for them because, I mean, they can attack with the short passes, but one of the things I am concerned, we've talked about this with Anthony Brown, maybe being susceptible on the long passes. Well, the Colts don't really do that a ton. So I'm thinking that will be one advantage. Is that your Cowboys win because then they just thrash Matt Ryan all day?
Yeah, I think it's that, and the offense is just going to have a day. I mean, we've already seen Gallup has continued to keep progressing, and he's looking really good now too. CeeDee Lamb, so you don't really have to worry about that, and I think both running backs, Zeke and Pollard, are going to have a day.
And somebody asked, who's the backup quarterback for the Colts? Well, Sam Ehlinger, but he got destroyed in his starts. Like,
why?
Because
their offensive line is poor at pass.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, can you argue that both of their quarterbacks hold on to the ball too long? I would certainly listen to that argument. I'm sure some of the Colts offensive linemen not all of those are on us.
Is it them really holding the ball too long, or they just don't have enough time to get the ball off?
Combo.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, the defensive line, they're going to be in there so quick, there's no chance he has time to process and look at targets.
Yeah, it's hand in hand, man. Those two things go right there together.
And as long as the quarterback goes down to the turf, preferably with the ball in his hand, and then it falls out of his hand, then I don't really care why it happened.
Let's say it falls out first and then he hits the ground.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
No throwing motion.
Absolutely. Or no BS throwing motion. Come on.
At what point do you think that
Cooper Rush gets in the game?
No, yes, that was a question I had. But that Matt Ryan looks up, sees Micah on top of him again, and says, I don't want to come back out here today. Please send somebody else out there. What do you think, it's third quarter?
Yeah, but I can see Ehlinger being like, and I do?
I don't want to go out there either, dude.
I just want to let you know from the person who texted in from the 214, your text is hilarious. I 100% cannot read that on air.
Oh, no.
I
gotta go find it.
It is hilarious, though. From the 254, Cowboys win because Michael Gallup simply can't be guarded. From the 682, Cowboys win because they're better. Cowboys lose because, well, S happens. And that is, like, as much as we talk about the loss to the Packers, I think when we reflect on the end of this season, you'll look at that Colts beat the Chiefs game and be like, what the hell? How?
You can't let that happen.
Yeah, because this was a Colts team that tied against the Texans. We all thought were going to be terrible to start. And then they got smoked by the crappy Jags. And then they were like, well, we beat the Chiefs. It perplexes me. And then I think they were a couple weeks out from setting the game of football back like 50 years with that stupid game against the Broncos. That if somebody was in a coma for somehow they survived from the 1930s, like they Captain America did, they'd wake up and be like, that's my football.
I also, Kevin, would like to say that text from the 214 is absolutely hilarious. We absolutely cannot read it on radio.
I need to read it.
Yeah, we'll make sure you see it in just a minute. Yes. Cowboys win because we've discussed it. The pressure is insane. Like the Cowboys' defensive front goes nuts this weekend. What is the record for most sacks by a team in a single game? Do we have that number, Kevin?
I don't. I'll see if I can.
We're going to break it this weekend.
Do you think it'll be more sacks than it was against Minnesota?
Well, that was 7.
Yeah.
And I don't know that broke the record. So I do.
Right, but I'm saying, do you think that they'll beat that?
I think that they might get 8.
Oh, my God.
Is it like 15, 20?
It's going to be tough. The Philadelphia Eagles, back on October 26, 1952, had 14 sacks against the Giants. I am not willing to go that far. I am willing to say perhaps you can get in the neighborhood of half of those sacks.
That's a lot, like a lot of yellow that Derek was wearing the other day.
It is. Okay, did we tell that story on air?
No.
So Mike, I love Mike. He definitely is the most focused and distracted person I know, all wrapped up into one. We're in the middle of having a conversation. Mike is in the middle of this conversation. He just looks at Derek in his Michigan gear and he goes, man, that's a lot of yellow you have on. We're like actively talking about something. He didn't just say it when everyone's quiet, and he just goes, that's a lot of yellow you have on.
It was mid-sentence. We were literally having a full-on conversation.
Oh, I don't know if I agree. You know, that's a lot of yellow you have on. And you're like, we were talking about.
You say most focused and most distracted. He's most focused on things that he wants to be focused on.
That is the most true
He
thing.
lives in Mike's world, all right? And it is what is on Mike's mind. That's what it is all the time.
It's a lefty thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Corey. What do you think is the team record? I decided to look this up since you brought it up. I told you the NFL record is 14 sacks. What do you think is the team record for the Cowboys? Most sacks in a game?
10.
9.
It is 12, of which the Cowboys have done twice.
In your face.
So I don't think we're going to be in that territory.
Maybe.
So where would you set the bar over/under on?
I set over/under sacks for 5.5.
I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
Because I think I agree with Corey. I think they're definitely going to have a field day out there.
The Cowboys lose because, and I can't believe this even came out of my mouth. All right.
I was going to say outcoached.
Dak and Kellen Moore try to get too tricky, too cute.
Okay.
And so that would be the outcoaching part. And I think it can happen. Like you're like, okay, we can do all these different things, and then, like you said, Derek, the team shows up, or they're right in the right spot at the right time. And I think that what Dak's been doing lately, man, they've been attacking downfield with confidence. And I know he's thrown a couple interceptions. That happens sometimes. But I think that they try to get a little too cute, knowing that this isn't an opponent they're going to see often, and they're just like, hey, this is one of these kind of games that we think we can win, and they're going to add some elements that they don't need to, and that would be a failure on game plan.
From the 9-7-2, this would be a lot to go wrong, but I appreciate you playing the game. From the 9-7-2, Cowboys win because they're just a better team. They play their game. They win 45-16. Cowboys lose because Jonathan Taylor goes for 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. We have multiple turnovers. I will agree. Under that scenario, I would be surprised if you win that game. And Derek, this person always texts in on Fridays. From the 469, it's that time, fellas. Shout out to Dutch for holding it down on the mic. Cowboys win because we will simply outswag the Colts and crush Matt Ryan like a Texas-sized flying cockroach.
I still don't know what outswag. How do you outswag somebody to a victory?
You ever?
But yet here every Monday, Kevin, I say the same thing every Friday. And then every Monday when we come in after a victory, the person texts in, and that's how you out-swag somebody. And I'm like, I didn't see it. I didn't see the swag.
I feel like part of it's in the pregame whenever you see like Joey B show up in this outfit and you're like, Bengals are going to win by 30 points.
Oh.
Like, I think that's how it starts. And then like force fumble or a pick six. That's
look good,
your,
feel good, play good. All right, I got you.
That's your swag right there. Also, how many people knew that some roaches can fly?
Let me finish this egg before you.
I did not. I did not know that.
Yeah. Check it out.
Flying
people.
roach.
Crap.
It's a thing.
What happened?
You have a story, or are you going to throw
I've
up?
seen.
Did you spill something again?
Oh, we shouldn't have brought
Don't
that
cough
up.
again.
It is the lunch hour. All right, I'll let you ponder that on your own for a minute. Cowboys lose because Jonathan Taylor surpasses 100 yards rushing. He's only done that twice this season. But on those two occasions, he went way past 100. He had 147, 161. The Colts are 1-0-1 in those games. The games where he doesn't reach 100 yards, 1-6. It is pretty clear he does not rush for 100 yards a lot, but when he does, they win, or at least they don't lose. When he doesn't,
Like
they
keeping
lose.
the game close, and that's got to be the game plan for them is to run first and second down. You know, like their game plan's got to be run first and second down, shorten this game as much as we possibly can. The amount of possessions should be very, very few. That's what they're hoping, and I think the Cowboys will try to do their best to ensure that they score quickly and do those things that say you got to catch up to us, so that you have to start passing. That's where the Cowboys want to go with that, if that's the game plan on the Colts' part.
Now, we get the text, the Cowboys win because Micah Parsons breaks the individual sack record for a game. What do you think that is?
5.
9.
Well, it's more than 5 because if you recall, 5 years ago, Adrian Claiborne had 6 sacks by himself against the Cowboys. However,
The more you know.
that's right. It's Derek Thomas. Now think about this.
One of my favorite players of all time.
And this is how good he was. Derek Thomas is tied for second. In 1998, he had 6 sacks in a game. 8 years earlier, he set the record by having 7 sacks in a game.
I remember last year we were trying to come up with a comp for Micah, and Derek's like physically different player also, but that's about as close as you can get. And Derek's career obviously cut short there, but not you, Derek Holland.
No, I know. I was like sitting there like, man.
This is like when I talk about Carter. Not my Carter. And he was a different player. And then we asked Broadus, and Broadus was like, man, that is an interesting comparison there. He said that's interesting because Broadus got to watch him and scout him and see that guy play up close. So that's interesting that we would be, even thinking about the opportunity for that to be the case.
The team record, Jim Jeffcoat, 5 in 1985 against the Washingtons. I believe.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, is this the week it gets broken?
I don't think so because Corey brought up this weird stat, and I've been looking at it, is in every game this season, Micah has 0 sacks or 2 sacks. There is no other number.
Maybe it goes to 6.
Yeah, this is the time where you just whatever multiplies by 2 is what we're gonna do. Hold on.
Okay.
How many sacks does he have right now? 12?
12?
All right, and that's 2. That's 6. So that would be 6 games of 2 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be 12 sacks in this game.
I thought you were going to say, so now he'll have 2 games of 6 sacks.
He'll have his season total in one. What are you doing, dude? What do you even?
So
There's a commercial on the television, and Kevin's like, "Hey, look at this commercial while we're doing live radio."
And you look,
and I did look,
and
it's on the other TV right in front of me.
Exactly how I wanted it to work is. Y'all brought up a lot of points. I did see some people were like, they're worried that the Cowboys will lose because the Eagles play them close, and the Eagles probably should have won that game. I think Jonathan Taylor is the key. When we talked with Jerry earlier, he says he does not believe that illness will keep any of their players out. So that would be a huge positive for the Cowboys.